Very good morning to you, everybody. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk something about very important in Buddhism in our day-to-day life. And sometimes this is what we are going to practice till the last breath of our life. And sometimes if we are the true follower of the Buddha, and if we need to have the true understanding about this life, one day we have to practice this. We have to practice this until the end of our enlightenment. So thinking that, I think this is a great chance for me to talk something about a deep understanding in our Buddhism. I can remember very well, if I go back to 20 years, sometimes 25 years, I can remember very well I read a very nice, very good novel written by an Indian novelist. It is the English teacher. I can remember the many episodes the writer has discussed. He talks about in our life throughout his whole novel, but towards the latter part of his novel, I found a very special paragraph. This is very, very interesting, and I think I will never ever forget this special paragraph. There he says, we got departed, we as human beings, we everyone, this is common to everyone, and we got departed from the womb of our mother. Since the day we got departed from the womb of our mother, we are experiencing this throughout in our whole life, in every moment. We can just think about, you got departed from your brothers, your sisters, your family members, your friends, your well-wishers. You got departed from your country, sometimes your village, the area where you were brought up, right? And like this, we are going from place to place, saying sometimes goodbye to forever, sometimes for a couple of years, sometimes maybe for a couple of weeks, days. We are going from place to place like this, and we are departing from many episodes, many people in our lives. So this message, what the writer, the novelist has discussed in his novel, captivated my mind, and it is still in my mind. And with this, when I was thinking about how I am going to give this talk today, I remembered something very special I read during my last semester in the university. So I would like to start this discussion today with the special line, non-attachment is not non-engagement. Because why did I bring this topic to this table today? Because when you read, especially I'm talking about the Buddhist texts, you may find a special word. When it translates into English, it is non-attachment. So what is all about this non-attachment? How we are practicing this non-attachment? How did the Buddha's disciples, true disciples, they practice non-attachment in their lives? Do we also practice this non-attachment in our lives? It doesn't matter whether you don't need to be a Buddhist. You don't essentially need to be a Buddhist to practice non-attachment. Just forget about the labels. But if your final goal is to find the bliss, the last happiness, one day you have to practice this non-attachment. This is happening in every moment in our life. Yeah, this is a common phenomenon that is going on in our life constantly. So with this in our mind, we can go ahead with this discussion. So when we go very deeper into the Buddhist texts, we can find this special concept, non-attachment. If you need to get rid of this circle of birth and death, and if you need to find a final salvation for this perpetuated suffering, right, you need to practice non-attachment in this life. We do have a lot of opportunities, we do have enough time in our life to practice this non-attachment. But by the time when you hear this word non-attachment, sometimes you may get displeased. You are not, some people are not happy to hear this word non-attachment. And they would say, why we do have to practice non-attachment? We are happy. Why do we have to say goodbye to these things? It is something unnecessary. We are happy. All right. I'm not going to talk about that aspect, but Buddha says that when we think about our existence in this circle of birth and death, in other words, in this samsara, in this perpetuation, right? Buddha says that this form is not mine. Even though you think that this form is mine, Buddha says that this is not mine. How about the feeling? It is the same. The feeling is also not mine. The sensation, right? How about the perception? How about the volition? How about the consciousness? All these 5 aspects, what we call as 5 aggregates, those are not mine. Buddha says that if something is not yours, what is the best thing to do? You can say, you can give it up. You can give it up. Why? Because once you give it up, that will be benefited for you for many, many years. So that is how Buddha has emphasized. He has explained this non-attachment in his original teachings in early Buddhist texts. But today I'm not going to talk about all these aspects or the meanings, how we can define, interpret these terms of form, sensation, volition, perception, consciousness, all these things. It is something unnecessary. But since I started my topic with the special line, non-attachment is not non-engagement, I think I have to explain this. Because I think I understand that some people, when they practice non-attachment in Buddhism, by using, sometimes it could be meditation, it could be anything else, they think that they have to live a life with passiveness. They have to live a life with non-engagement, fully being inactivated in our lives. But this is not the story that we have to practice in our life. If we have to be the true followers, true disciples of the Buddha. But before that, I would like to tell you a very interesting story that happened before 2500 years, during the time when the Buddha was living in India. Do you know, one day a monk, this monk is very, very special. He was a merchant. He was going somewhere on his business to sell his good. Anyway, when we go through this special sutta, this discourse in the original teachings of the Buddha, it says that later on he wanted to become a monk, and he became a monk. And finally, one day he wanted to meet the Buddha. So he approached the Buddha and he asked him, Lord Buddha, please explain me something that I can use to meditate and practice what we call the non-attachment, right? Finally, I can have the bliss, the final happiness in my life. In other words, in Buddhism, the nirvana, nibbana. I need to have the salvation. Please explain something in brief so that I can use it to elaborate my knowledge, my wisdom. You know, on this occasion, the Buddha, he gave him a very interesting explanation, which is very, very brief. And towards the end of this discourse also, he says that this monk, he did not compel me, he did not disturb me, he did not make me tired for more explanation. All right, this monk, his name was Punna. So you can find this sutra in the middle length discourses of the Buddha, Majjhima Nikaya. The sutta number is 145. Sutta's name is Advice Given to the Punna. Punna is his name, this monk's name. So Venerable Punna, when he asked this question from the Buddha to give a brief explanation about, it could be the meditation or anything that he can use to have the final salvation. This is what the Buddha says. He says, the one who is delighted in sense pleasures, infatuated by sense pleasures, will be a victim of lust, will always be confused. They have met with calamity, a disaster. He is a slave of desire, he is a slave of passion. Further delighted in them, ignorance may arise in his mind. Thus, fueled by desire, it will lead to suffering. This is the short one paragraph, one short brief explanation given by the Buddha. And then he says that the one who is not infatuated in sense pleasures will be free from ignorance and suffering. That's it. And then Buddha asked, now what are you going to do? Where are you going to practice this? Where are you heading? Then this monk Punna, his name is Punna, right? He says, all right, Venerable, I will go to a special place, a special village by the name Sunaparanta. When the Buddha heard this word Sunaparanta, he told Venerable Punna, you know, this village Sunaparanta is not a good place. We don't have enough assurance there for your life. This is a very, very dangerous place. Why? Because there are very dangerous people. They may do any harm to you. Yes. So how are you going there? Then Buddha asked him several questions. This is very, very interesting, and you can read this whole sutra. So according to this whole episode of the sutra, the first question Buddha asked from him is, all right, if we are going there, suppose if they abuse you, if they scold you, what are you going to do? Then the Venerable Punna, he answered the Buddha saying that, all right, Buddha, if they abuse me, if they scold me, I will think thus: how good these people in the area of this Sunaparanta. They are very, very good people. They are really, really excellent people. Why? Because they did not hit me. They just scold me. They just abused me, but they did not hit me. They did not punch me. They did not kick me. So how lucky I am. Then the Buddha said, all right, suppose if they hit you, Lord Buddha is still, I'm lucky, because they have not yet stoned at me. I'm lucky, they did not stone at me. All right, if they stone you, what will happen to you, and what is your second stance? All right, if they are going to stone at me, I will think that I'm still lucky. The people in this area, Sunaparanta, also really excellent and really good people. Why I say so? Because they did not yet torture me. They did not yet harass me. All right. Then the Buddha has another question from Venerable Punna. If you think, if we guess, if they torture you, and what is your stance? What are you going to do? All right. If they torture me, I will think that I'm still lucky. How good these people are in Sunaparanta. Even though some people say that even though they are famous as very dangerous, and they are disturbing the other people, and they pose themselves as a threat to the other lives, the peace of other lives, other people's in that area, I will still think that they did not damage me physically. In other words, they did not cut my body. They did not injure me seriously. Then Buddha has another question from Venerable Punna. All right, you are great. Suppose if they are ready to cut you, if they are ready to damage any part of your body very seriously, what is your stance? What are you going to do? Then the Venerable Punna says that I'm still lucky, Buddha, because they did not kill me. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. They did not kill me. Then the Buddha asked him the final question. All right, if we start from the beginning, now you can remember, and he asked the last question. All right, if they kill you, if they are ready to kill you, what is your stance? What are you going to do with this? And how you are going to live in this area if they are ready to kill you, because you don't have an assurance for your life? Then the Venerable Punna answered the Buddha saying that, all right, Lord Buddha, some of your disciples are tired of maintenance of this body, because we have to feed this body, we have to look after this body. So they are tired of the maintenance of this body. Not only that, some of your disciples are fed up with this, the existence of this life. They are tired of the maintenance of this life. They are fed up with the existence of this life. You have to face all these problems. It is because you are born in this world. And thinking like this, thinking that some of your disciples are waiting until somebody to come and kill them. But in my case, without taking much troubles, I will be pleased, I am happy, because if they are ready to kill me, this is something that I can have for free of charge. I don't have to take that much troubles to kill myself. Thinking like this, I will be happy, Lord Buddha. That's how the Venerable Punna answered the Buddha's question. Then do you know what the Buddha finally said to this Venerable Punna? He said, excellent Venerable, excellent Venerable. You are the ideal person. You are the best person to go to this village, to go to this area, Sunaparanta. And you can have your time, and please go. This is how the Buddha gave his permission to this Venerable Punna. And finally, I wanted to finish this story. Finally, this Venerable Punna, he went to that area, Sunaparanta. Sunaparanta was a particular area even at that time, which was famous for, which was notorious for some bad actions, especially for rough people, right? And today it is called the Maharashtra, and it is going this, I think that path, that road is going towards Mecca also. And I don't know, but throughout the whole history, we have find some stories and some records that venerables, some Buddhist monks went to this area. Anyway, this venerable Punna, he went to that place, that area, and he could make many people understand about the Buddha's teaching, and within 1 year, believe me, that is how the sutra goes, the discourse goes. Within 1 year, he could make 500 people, lay disciples, especially the males, understand about Buddhism, and he could bring many people in hundreds, in thousands to Buddhism, and that is it. And finally, before the end of 1 year in his living there in this special area Sunaparanta, within 1 year he could bring many people into Buddhism, and it is said that he has also achieved the final bliss, Nibbana. And this is the story. Why did I use this story in my Dhamma explanation today? Because remember earlier I told you, non-attachment is not non-engagement. The brief explanation given by the Buddha to Venerable Punna is quite enough. That is more than enough for him to practice non-attachment, being isolated in one place, in a particular area, without going to that place, that village, Sunaparanta. But what did he do? He went to that place. Even the Buddha also encouraged by asking several questions. Alright, you are the best person to go to this place. But after going to that place, even though he achieved the final bliss, Nirvana, maybe he has done a great service, but we don't find that much record in the original text. But maybe he has done a great service there for many years. So if you go to, if you want to read the original teachings of the Buddhism to find about something about non-attachment, you may find a lot of explanations like this. This is a good story. This is a good story. And he says that, remember, this can be taken also as a one way to practice non-attachment. He says, Buddha says that the one who is not infatuated in sense pleasures will be free from ignorance and suffering. This is one way of practicing non-attachment. But if we want to practice really the non-attachment, that is okay, but non-engagement is not non-attachment. We have to do something. Why did I say so? Because in one of the articles I read recently, I found that peacefulness, there is a very special line like this: peacefulness does not mean passiveness, and non-attachment does not mean non-engagement. When we read some others discourses also, Buddha's teaching, the final demise, the great demise of the Buddha, the discourse on the great demise of the Buddha, there it says that as long as a society protects the vulnerable among them, they can be expected to prosper and not decline. You can find this line in the great demise of the Buddha. And again, I wanted to bring forward a very special line. Why did I choose this topic, non-attachment? It is okay, maybe you are a true Buddhist, maybe you want to practice meditation, non-attachment, but that alone is not enough. You have to be engaged. You have to practically do something for the benefit of others while you are seeking your own bliss, while you are seeking your own salvation. We have to do something. We have lots of ways to do practice engagement in this society, in this world. One can practice meditation, come forward and stand against the poverty. Some people are suffering from poverty. Recently, when I heard When I listened to the news bulletins from Sri Lanka, I heard that a small boy, he had died from malnutrition. He did not have enough food to eat. Sometimes when we go to Vietnam, sometimes when we go to many other parts, India, sometimes even here, when I go here and there in this city in Los Angeles, I find many homeless people. They don't have enough food to eat. They don't have a place to live. So we can stand against poverty. We can stand against homelessness. During my last semester in the university, I studied a lot. I sometimes went to this place to place. And I went to a nearby place here in Los Angeles, a youth center, and there the director of that youth center, his name is Seth. He said that he first asked the question, who are you? Then I told him I'm a Buddhist monk. All right, it doesn't matter whether you are a Buddhist monk. If you need to do this kind of a service, we have lots of ways. Go from place to place. You can go to many places and talk to people. You have to listen to their stories. Everyone has a special story. Listen to their stories. I also have a special story. And when I came to this country, that's how he said. He was helpless. Somehow, he went to UCLA University. He was graduated with his first degree. And today, he became by now he has become a director of that institute. And he is helping many people. So we exchanged some emails. And finally, he said that if you want to help people, the best thing is go from place to place. Listen to their stories. Everyone has a story, a special story. And like this, we can stand against discrimination. Sometimes we can stand against social injustice. We can stand against terrorism. Maybe you heard the recent story which happened in Sri Lanka, right? And some extremists, they blasted a bomb, and more than 300 people died in that barbaric action, and still some people are dying. So we can stand against barbarism. So how we can practice this engagement? You can practice meditation, that is okay. You can practice chanting, that is okay. You can come to this temple, that's right. And you can write something. Our Nam is doing a great job. He is painting, right? He has fixed a class here for Buddhist art groups. Anyone can come here and paint the pictures. And you can write a poem, you can write an article, you can write a book. Whatever the way, we can do all these things, and we can organize communities. So with this, what I wanted to say that non-attachment in Buddhism is not non-engagement. We have to do something. There are lots of ways we can help, and those who need the help from us, they are waiting for us. And that's it I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much. Many blessings to you.